For me to look like this, I had to look like this. And to look like this, I had to look like this. And to look like this, I had to look like this. And to look like this, I had to look like this. And to look like this, I had to look like this. And this. And this. And this. And this. But hold on. You think you can get there in 6 to 12 weeks? Nice one, mate. What's up, guys? My name's Ro, and I'm an online coach, and I've been coaching for the last 6 years. I've been qualified as a dentist for over a decade, and I help busy people like you, doctors, dentists, lawyers, mums and dads who've got lives, families, jobs, careers that they are passionate about, get into the shape of their life whilst juggling it all. I know what it's like to be in your shoes, to be juggling work, life, social plans, the whole works. And it is possible when you have the right tools. But today, we're gonna be talking particularly about why you aren't building the muscle that you want, why lads you're not jacked, why ladies their glutes aren't gluting, and I'm gonna show you exactly how we're gonna correct that. And there's 3 things: structure, intensity, and accountability. And I'm gonna cover all 3 today. Point number 1, and we're all victim to this when we first start going to the gym, your structure, or actually the complete lack of it. See, when you go to the gym, you are mentally fried, and you go in there thinking, right, I'll just do a bit of something because something's better than nothing. But that only ends up being, especially lads, something like Monday chest, Tuesday back, Wednesday legs, no, don't be silly. Thursday, no, life's kicked in. Friday, no, we can't do it on the Friday. Saturday, weekends, let's not train on the weekends. And then soon enough, it's gone. So you get my point. The lack of structure is what's holding you back. And this is where I help my clients. We keep it really very simple. Your life is complicated, so you need something you know you can stick to. If lads and ladies, you're training once, twice a week, keep it simple. 3 to 4 times a week, full body or upper lower body. 5 times a week, breathe. You probably have too much time on your hands. Just go back to 3 or 4 times and do it properly. Training requires structure. Structure means you can do the same exercises in the same order and the same routine week on week. Why does that matter? Because it gives you the opportunity to progress your training. Doing the new exercise or a new workout every 2 weeks, it's not shocking the body. The only thing which is shocking is the lack of results. So let's help you by making it simple, repetitive, because repetition in this process works really, really well. I may sound ridiculous. I'm not trying to sound condescending. I'm just trying to be very real. I've made the mistakes. I've done I'll try German volume training. I've tried the push-pull legs and then switch to upper body, lower body, and then the full body workouts. Stick to one you can do, you'll be fine. And before I move on to number 2, this is where you need to go down to the link in the description and find my free RV fat loss guide. Structure, which with 5 simple points you can integrate into your day-to-day life. And I guarantee you, if you do it well enough and for long enough, you'll be able to drop some decent body fat very quickly, but in a very manageable way. Now you have the structure. Point 2 is about the intensity and the complete lack of. You see, everyone says getting to the gym is half the battle. Actually, I would argue the opposite. See, going to the gym is wonderful, but if you're doing half reps, and trust me, I've been there doing the leg press for 400 kilos and doing 1/4-inch knee flexes, which were literally training perhaps maybe this amount of muscle, I've wasted my time. You need to understand that how you do one thing is how you do everything. And the easiest way to open your eyes to your quality of your training, the intensity of your training, is to film yourself. And I'll explain a little bit more about intensity in a second. When you film yourself with any movement, you will see the honest, unfiltered, raw example of what you're doing. The range of motion. So how deep your legs are going when you're doing a leg press down to the bottom and then back up to the top. How hard are you pushing yourself? And actually how much effort you're putting into the overall gym session. You see, training is a very simple process. It's lifting metal or weights from A to B. It needs to be done with correct form, which means you're using the right muscles when you want to. It needs to be done through the right range of motion, i.e. the correct distance from A to B, and it needs to be done with enough intensity, i.e. challenge on the muscle that forces them to change. And unless you're addressing that, it's pointless. So for example, just very, very quickly, if you're doing a Romanian deadlift and you notice your body flailing like a fish, are you actually hitting your glutes? Or are you using all these random other muscles? If you're trying to do a leg press and the speed of that first rep and the last rep looks the same, now you realize it's probably an intensity problem. You're just not pushing yourself hard enough. You need to give your muscles a reason to change through how you do it and how efficient you're doing it. Now, when I'm saying filming yourself, you don't have to be the next Steven Spielberg, nor do you have to be the next Mike Thurston. Keep it very simple. All you need is a bottle or heavy object of some sort and your phone. Bang, put it on the side, film yourself, and I'll explain why. There's a few things you want to catch out. Your rep speed, your range of motion, and how hard are you actually pushing. Your rep speed will tell you a story of the intensity of the workout. What you should find when you're training close to failure, which by the way is the reason why muscles will grow and adapt and improve and build, you should see an involuntary decrease in the rep speed. So you should find that it gets progressively slower and progressively harder. So if your first rep and your last rep look the same, look identical, we've got a problem here because you're not pushing hard enough. If you are pushing hard enough, however, like I am in this video, as you can see here, the reps are slowing down to the point that basically I'm about to defecate on myself. That's a good sign. Second point within this is that you can look at your depth. In the past, my leg presses were awful. I literally did knee flexes, as I said, whereas here you can see I'm monitoring that my legs are going nice and deep. I'm bringing my knees close to my chest. And obviously, if you've got some niggles, you've got some hip mobility issues, do what works for you. But you can at least standardize this and make sure you're doing it correctly. And finally, look at your face. Look at how hard it is for you. If you look unscathed, you're not sweating, you're not out of breath, you're not tired from that set, is there a reason for the muscles to change? Probably not. You need to challenge yourself. Those videos tell the story. And thirdly, accountability, more specifically to yourself and your workouts. Let me give you a very simple analogy here. I can't for the life of me remember what Soph asked me to buy from Tesco's yesterday evening whilst I was sitting on the sofa. So how the heck am I going to remember what I did last week in the gym? You see, you should be aiming to beat your previous numbers in your workouts because you already know. Same workout, right? We already said that at the beginning. Same workouts being repeated week on week. So for you to progress, you need to beat those numbers. But if you haven't recorded those numbers, how are you gonna progress? So this is where accountability comes in. It doesn't have to be rocket science. It could be the notes app. It could be a logbook. It could be a training sheet where you log it like my clients do, funnily enough, and make incredible progress and get absolutely jacked, funnily enough, with Harvey Fitness Coaching. They track their workouts and they are able to monitor their progress week on week. They're able to, over time, increase their numbers whilst keeping form good, whilst keeping the intensity solid, and as a result they build muscle. But I know you're really good at accountability, you know, holding yourself to really high standards, and you're smashing it with your fitness journey. It's not like you need me in the RV Fitness Coaching, which helps people like yourself, you know, tackle day-to-day life and all the, you know, self-conscious things that you keep telling yourself that you can't do, but you can do, and you just need the right coach. But don't worry about that. I'm here for when you need me. You know what's also here for you when you need it? In the link in description, the RV Fitness Fat Loss Guide. But you don't need that. But when you do need it, or if you do want to look at it, it's got 5 very simple points for you to be able to action and implement in your day-to-day life, which are all about helping you get shredded, get lean, but do it in a manageable way. I'm not going to use the word sustainable because sustainable is just shit. But if you want to get in shape, come to me. I'll help you out. So there you go. The soft arms, the smaller chest, the lack of glutes, it's not because of your genetics. It's not because of your culture. It's not because of your lack of time. It's just because you need some simple structure you need to implement with better intensity, better accountability, and some better systems. And if you like that simple, you know, fluff-free advice, do yourself a favor, drop me a follow, hit the subscribe button, as this channel is all about giving you manageable advice, realistic advice, which renders results. And I will be here, continue to do the Superman thing and provide a refreshed, real approach to fitness when you're ready. Catch you in the next video. Peace.